Hi, my name is Thijs Veenstra. I work as Circular Product Design Lead at Pesi Group. At Pesi we are good at developing consumer products for mass production, and we are having fun doing so. But what gets us even more excited is when we are developing products that are circular.
Developing circular products is about designing a product in such a way that you can recover and restore the product, the components and materials through strategies like reuse, repair, remanufacture or recycling. The last one, recycling, fits very well with how we currently use and discard products. The product is part of an open loop system where ownership of the product flows from the manufacturer to the consumer towards the waste management industry.
When designing a product that fits within this value cycle of recycling, it is important to not only design it optimally for recycling, but to also make it from recycled materials to ensure a closed loop. Considering, for instance, the plastics within electronic products, up till nowadays, almost all companies are very used to design and produce products made from virgin plastics. Replacing these virgin plastics for a recycled plastic might sound easy, but the properties of the plastics have been changed due to lifetime wear and recycling. Luckily, by adding additives and compounding these properties can be restored. But that does not make them identical to existing grades. Similar to virgin grades, every recycled grade has its own behavior on chemical, mechanical, aesthetical or processing level. A virgin grade is not a recycled grade, and therefore a design made from a virgin grade, for instance a PP, cannot simply be replaced by a recycled PP, while expecting it will behave in exactly the same way. It may get close, but it is not the same. Different materials properties translate into different application properties. If I take grade A and mold it into, for instance, this shape, it will behave in a certain way. That counts for many aspects, like the way it looks, how stiff it is into a certain direction, what level of impact is it able to resist without breaking, and so on. If I take grade B and mold it into the same shape, I am 100% sure it will behave differently in one or more aspects. If I'm used to make a part from grade A and I approved and released it as a manufacturer in a certain assembly, I offer it to the customer within the set requirements. Now if I make it from grade B, how can I be sure if it still functions as intended? For all its aspects? This I need to find out first.
Introducing an unknown new plastic grade within your project, regardless of it being a virgin or a recycled grade, brings uncertainties that first need to be removed. Start filling the knowledge gap by getting to know the material properties that will allow you to make an estimation of whether the material is suitable for your application. If yes, the next direction can be determined, implementing it into parts of an existing product that is suitable, or making a new design based upon the material knowledge matching the set of application requirements. With more than 10 years' experience in applying recycled plastics, Pesi Group developed a reliable method to fill this knowledge gap by means of a hands-on step-by-step learning process. It is called the drop-in method. It has been used for many projects at several multinationals and smaller companies, and therefore is well proven. The drop-in method is based on 3 pillars: the complexity level tool, look and learn, and the 6 steps for material approval. The first one, the complexity level tool, helps you to find an answer on where to get started. By means of unraveling the existing product or a range of products the manufacturer is delivering to the market, a selection is made of which products, and more specific which plastic parts, are relatively easy to manufacture with recycled plastics. This is a perfect starting point to start up the learning process. Every product part is assessed by asking 4 questions. Is this type of plastic available in a recycled grade? Are there any legal limitations? What are the visual requirements? And what are the critical to quality requirements? Based upon this, the parts are rated from 1 to 4, where 1 is defined as low-hanging fruit and 4 the cream of the crop, which at this moment is not possible.
Once decided what parts to begin with, we start using the other 2 pillars from the drop-in method, the 6 steps for approval pillar and the look and learn pillar. With 6 steps, we gradually build confidence in the application of recycled plastics into new products. It starts with sourcing for potential R-plastic grades that could replace the virgin grades. And once found and ordered, we start to learn the properties of the material by producing samples and demonstrators in-house. By using existing molds, we will learn the possibilities of post-consumer recycled plastics by applying them and comparing them with the current product parts. First, start off with simple shapes to get a first idea on processing and to determine mechanical or processing properties. A typical challenge for PP, for instance, is that we are looking for the stiffness of a homopolymer or the impact strength of a copolymer. Post-consumer recycled plastics are a blend where both properties are partially lost. By adding fibers, we can create stiffness, but then they become too brittle and fail the impact test. So finding a balance and learning what the barriers are is input for designers to design geometries that compensate. Once you are more confident that it might work out, try more complex shapes. Find out how stable the material is in geometry and processing with longer production runs. Once the suitability of a recycled plastic for a specific application is checked and approved, it can replace virgin plastic in an existing design. At the same time, now that the material knowledge gap is filled, it is also possible to start to design entirely new products and parts made from recycled plastics. If done well, you can achieve a lot with recycled plastics in consumer products. This is the latest Senseo Viva Cafe Eco from Philips. It has a high recycled plastic content. Another product we have made from recycled plastics is this product from Wireless Value. The housing parts are made from recycled plastics, but since we already learned the capabilities of recycled plastics, we were able to create a new design suitable to be made from recycled plastics. Next to that, we also implemented the design for recycling rules. So this is designed to facilitate the recycling industry to break it down and fully recover the materials, which makes it fully circular. In conclusion, every plastic grade has its own specific properties that result in certain application behavior. This counts for virgin plastics and just as much for recycled plastics. Therefore, Pesi Group considers recycled plastics as new materials that need to be discovered before knowing the performance in a certain application. Get to know the performance of the materials first. This is easily done by using the existing molds. This will create demonstrators to find proof, but it is also a perfect means to hands-on inform stakeholders within your organization. And last, building confidence within the organization is done step by step. Start with small successes with the parts that are really rather easy to create in recycled plastics. Lessons learned can be taken towards the next step that will include more challenging aspects.